Hey y'all, it's your girl Millie Chun. I'm back with season 8 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And I had to come back because y'all thought I had just forgot the whole show. So I'm back with the second part. Let's get to it. So after Kenya had that conversation with her dad in the first part I talked about, this is the season where she went to her mother's house, okay? And she was not greeted well. She walked up to the door. She said she heard the door lock and she heard someone say, "Please leave." That's horrible. At that moment, her father was sitting in the bus and he just went to the door and got her. He was like, because he already knew this was going to happen, she's doing this to herself. But Kenya said that this is something she wanted to do. This is her last stand to make sure she did everything she could do. Now her hands are clear of it. But of course, she has a void in her life. Child, this is also the season of the breakdown of Phaedra and Candy's relationship. Phaedra was doing her pregnancy workout video that never came out. She said right after this video, she went to the hospital and gave birth to Aiden, right? Todd got most of his money, and I don't think he got it all. I think he's missing like $4,000 of it. But Phaedra said she was going to write him a check, but I think she wrote him half of a check. Child, this was the year of the Million Man March. Kim Fields with her kids, like crying and stuff. Phaedra had it together with hers. I don't know what that was about, but Kim had a hard time. And plus, they were having a conversation that Kim was not ready for her oldest son to hear. Now, Phaedra is all about it. She don't care if Dylan can catch a little bit. She wants him to catch what he can get because he's a young black male, and she wants to raise them a certain kind of way. But Kim was not here for it. And who else was not here for it was Aunt Lori. And this is probably why we don't see Aunt Lori anymore. Because this is after Kenya had gone to her mother's house and she came in there with her daughter. And she was like, "Look, I love you, but I love my sister too. You need to just stop." She was like, "You knocking on her door, knowing how she feels, stop, because you're hurting my sister." But what was real crazy is that Kenya's dad let us know that her mother's father said he didn't want any illegitimate children at the house, and Kenya was an illegitimate child, and she lied and said she didn't have a baby, but her dad said he wasn't going to do that, and that's how that went. That's really sad. This is something else I forgot about. This season was the birth of the old lady gang. And one thing about Aunt Bertha, honey, she is going to fight anything tooth and nail before she has to succumb to it. She didn't like the name. She said she didn't want to be a part of it. When they had the food tasting, she was like, "I don't like this, I don't like that." But she liked the ribs. And her liking the ribs was her way of saying yes. And the old lady gang was birthed. And now it's closed. I thought all of this coverage of the Million Man March was simply amazing. The meeting with all the congresswomen and congressmen was awesome. I thought this was a good look for the time that we were in. Phaedra had got the mothers together of sons that had been slain. They had conversations. Sheree had her son there. He hugged all of the moms. I thought this was a really sweet moment. Okay, as so many of you all have told me, yes, Nene came back. Nene was not a part of the season. She did have confessionals, but she did not have an ending at the end of the season, and she was not on the initial promos. So the initial picture of the housewives holding the peach, she was not on there. But I was glad to see Nene come back in this season, and it was so much fun. She came back apologetic. She came back fun. She talked with Candy. She had a conversation with Kenya. I thought it was really good. I was glad to see her come back, and Cynthia was over the moon. Honey, so Kim feels she's not a glamour girl. She's not a girl on the scene. She's not a socialite. So she sent the girls a voice message saying that she wanted to have a beatless brunch, right? Meaning no makeup, just come as your natural self. Well, these ladies have a problem with it, and one in particular really had a problem with it. And honey, that was Kenya. And Kenya did not have, let me say this. Kenya was the Brit Edie in this season to Kim Fields. Unless you go back and watch it, believe me, she was horrible to her. And the moment that it switched for Kenya is when they were talking about something at the Beatless brunch, And Kim said, is it information or is it instigation? When she said instigation, something flipped in Kenya, and she was really disrespectful and horrible to that woman from that moment to the very end of the show. And it was just clear. Her pulling the seat from behind her, her just tearing her down at every moment, talking about her husband. It was horrible. She was definitely Brit Eady this season. This was a scene when Kenya was just glad to have a man. Like she literally, this is the only season that she literally had a man with her. I don't know. I think Walter came to the reunion. I'm not sure when she had that Walter situation, but Matt was at the reunion. But he was a consistent like person who wanted to talk to her, who seemed to be interested in her. And she was like, oh, he's this awesome guy. He's a trainer. Even Aunt Lori was like, you usually like men with money. Like, what you doing with him? And she was like, she's trying something new. But I was glad that he stuck with her this season. This is her only season to have somebody to really stick with her and pretend like they really liked her. In comes Bob Whitfield. Baby, Bob and his eyes is on this trip to Jamaica. Sheree said they are working on their friendship, even with the way he's treated her, sticking his tongue out of her, not giving her money or anything. Like, I guess Sheree was like, I don't want to go on a trip without a man, so Bob, just come go with me, right? So Sheree and Kenya were very happy to have someone to accompany them on a trip so they didn't have to be not with someone. But Candy and Todd missed out because Candy was not able to travel outside of the country. And then when Todd pointed out that they were going to Jamaica, Peter's home, and how great the experience would have been because he's from Jamaica, Candy was like, I didn't even think about that. We're really missing out. But she missed out for a good reason. So not only was Cynthia like devastated and disappointed in Kenya in this current season, but in season 8, at this moment right here, she was definitely disappointed in her. She was so rude to Kim, moving her chair, talking about her, mad at her for going with Kim's idea, who is much more like professional and has much more experience than Twa. You understand what I'm saying? She was mean to Cynthia. She was mean to Kim. And Cynthia was just like, I'm just disappointed in her. Kenya is disappointing. And what I noticed is that when she removed herself from the group had a whole lot of fun. She's a fun killer. Honey, Cynthia and Peter came out to say hello to their dinner guest. And 2 minutes later, when Nene showed up, baby, the crowd went wild. First of all, Portia was laughing. Sheree was shocked, right? Kenya was devastated because she did not even understand. And she was upset with Cynthia for not even telling her Nene was coming, right? And Cynthia was over the moon, like I said. But in this, they were talking about best friends and things like that. And Kenya had left the table. And Cynthia, this is when people start really calling her a flip-flopper for real. Because she told the table that she and Kenya were not besties. She said they're getting to know each other. Like, that is exactly what she said. And when Kenya found that out, she was so hurt. Child, give it a one time for Bob's eyes. Child, Peter and the guys kind of got at Matt a little bit. Matt did not like that. Matt is 28 years old, and he didn't see it like that for real. And he told Peter, come and meet me outside. This is the beginning. He is showing up now. I love this moment that Nene and Phaedra pulled Kim to the side and kind of gave her some confidence after Kenya just was so rude and disrespectful to her. And it was hilarious to see Phaedra spin around. Let me say this. Kim did an awesome job with Cynthia's eyeglass shoot. It was fantastic, professional, and wonderful. I don't remember seeing it or whatever. They may show it at the reunion, but she had the connections. Kenya doesn't have connections like that. Phaedra took her boys to see Apollo in prison at Fort Dix in this season. Aiden said something about his dad's hair, but Apollo would not sign the divorce papers as Phaedra wanted him to do. But I was glad that she took her boys to see him. And they ended it on a good note. Like, look at Juicy down here. Nene walked in and said, Juicy, you a damn elf. Kenya came dressed as herself. And Bob got a kiss from Sheree. I'm not gonna lie, this current season pales in comparison to season 8. Y'all let me know what y'all think. It's your girl Millie Chine. Bye.